Hey, it's Tineke here with another water video. And today I want to share my story with water. How did I get to do what I do, and how did I get all this knowledge about water? Well, when I was a little kid, we had a pond. My dad made it in the garden, and it was for us to swim. And we had a water source in our garden. So my dad created a pump, a well, and to pump up water. And that was very, very, very cold. And that was the water they put in our little swimming pool, which was of bricks. It wasn't a nice plastic one. And then we had to wait for the sun to warm it up. Well, guess little Tineke didn't want to wait because she wanted to play in the water. So very soon she started jumping into the freezing cold water because she didn't want to wait for 1 or 2 or 3 days even for it to get a normal temperature. You know, my country, it's very rare when it's 3-4 days, very beautiful weather, and for the water to warm up. And so that's, I think, where it already started. And I always like to puddle in the bath. And you know, when my mum, we didn't have a shower when I was a kid, so she had this big bathtub, a plastic container, which she filled with water, and I had to go and sit in it and was washed with a cup of water. This is what I remember. Now you start of guessing my age, maybe. I look a lot younger than I am. And this continued. At some point, I started swimming. All kids in our country start swimming because in the Netherlands, we have a lot of water. We're world famous for how we conquer the water. Well, we have a lot of water, and half of our country is below sea level. That's where most of us know us from. So I took swimming classes. I was very good at it. I had all my diplomas and I wanted to continue. And thank God my parents supported that. So I kept on swimming. I took every class there was. At some point, I started becoming a member of a rescue swimming group. And we started competing. And then I started to study sports. And believe it or not, we learned how to become a swimming teacher in the first year. And of course, that was an amazing business model because we had to do internships and all these schools in the surrounding area came to the pool and paid for swimming classes. We weren't paid. We were learning. So I became a swimming teacher, not really doing much with it. At the same time, I did an internship in the mountains where I was introduced to outdoor activities such as kayaking, climbing, hiking. And the kayaking I loved the most. Now, it is a very beautiful story how I really got into kayaking. I don't want to explain that now because it's going to be too long, but I'll do that in a separate video and I'll attach that after this one. All right, so just keep on watching to the next one if you're interested in that. Because it was water interfering at that time with me to make sure I got hooked on whitewater kayaking. Because I can tell you a little bit, I made a commitment. I was never, ever, ever going to be on a whitewater river again in my life. And eventually I became a national champion. Ha! What happened? So I started becoming whitewater kayak instructor after a while, after I had my diplomas of being a sports teacher, not having a diploma of being a kayak teacher because it didn't exist back then. And I started teaching people whitewater kayaking. I started diving when I was a tour guide in Mexico. I could sell diving and I could do it for free. I hardly had to pay for my PADI certification. And I've been diving in many countries and beautiful places. Mexico, Egypt, Israel, Australia, more countries. I also started long distance swimming. I really wanted to swim 22 kilometers. There's a big lake we have in our country, IJsselmeer. I wanted to do the crossing and I was well on my way. I was already swimming 4 hours and this is an 8-9 hour swim. So I thought I was ready. And then I had an injury. I ruptured my Achilles tendons. I was in plaster. I couldn't walk. I could swim. I was not allowed to. But I've learned never to listen to all the good advice people give you, even if they're experts, even if they have studied. Trust your own body. And I could feel that I could swim. I wasn't using my leg, by the way, but I could swim with my arms. I had a buoyancy device between my legs, so they were floating. I got involved in cold water. Hey, there it is again, Wim Hof method. And you know, whenever I do something, that's my sports mentality. I want to go to the max. So I was able to swim the whole year round. I was able to swim in ice. What else? Oh, I remember when I was still the successful businesswoman, I had this beautiful poster of water in my office. So every morning when I entered my office was not at home, I opened my door and I saw this big giant poster of water and I always felt calm and I felt peace. It was right behind me. I'll show it to you. So it's just been everywhere. Whitewater kayaking became my business. I started teaching whitewater kayaking. And it grew. We went climbing, hiking, mountain biking. I took families with kids when I had children myself. My kids, they were usually the guinea pigs trying activities to see if it's safe for a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old. And they loved it. They were not happy when I sold that business. So we were teaching rafting, canyoning, whitewater kayaking. Eventually, I ended up in the national team, whitewater kayaking, before I ended up in the national team of skiing. I haven't told you that story. But I also was in the mogul skiing team. You know, when you ski through the bumps and you make jumps, that's what I used to do. But I broke my thumb. Just the night before the national competition. And if you research my country, we have no mountains. So this was in Switzerland. We all moved to Switzerland for the national championships. So no national champion for me. I really had good possibilities. I could have won. I should have been second for sure. But had the first one not have a good day and I had a good day, I would have won. And when I was 38, I became a national champion whitewater kayaking. This was in France. So as you can see, the water has always been in my life. It's always been there, but not to a level I understand it now. It was always there for fun and for play and for sports. Now I know how connected I have been and how you are. We all are. And if you're a swimmer and you watch this, you might even feel the energy of the water. It's that pull. You need to go. And it's not only the exercise, and it's making you feel good. That is what the water does. Because the water in nature has a different energy than the water in our body. The water in our body has the energy of the things we say to ourselves, the thoughts we have, the experiences we experience. That is what creates the vibration and energy of our water molecules. So if you go and swim, especially in nature, not in a pool, but in nature, while swimming, it transforms the energy of your water molecules. That's what it does. So it's been quite of a story. But I just wanted to share this. I mean, you can look it up on my website, but hearing it and then making it visual, it's different. So thank you for staying till the end. Don't forget to comment. I really would like to hear your comments and how you resonate with this. Subscribe to my channel so you won't miss the next videos. Or if you want to receive my emails and my travel blogs, because I'm a digital nomad, I'm a homeless person. deliberately. I have a house in the Netherlands, but people rent it and they pay me. So it's passive income. That's great. And I get to live this life, you know. South of Portugal I'm at the moment. But anyway, subscribe to my email list. And you get a free PDF on how to energize your water. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much. See you next time.